Girbeagly!
Hey there guys and gals, it's Girbeagly with another episode of Gaming with Girbeagly, and I'm once again playing the game Katawa Shoujo. Now last episode Hisao had some trouble sleeping, so he wandered outside and went to the track, which was obviously abandoned because it was the middle of the night, and he ended up passing out on the bleachers like an idiot. Emmy found him, woke him up, and made him go running, which ended up with Hisao having trouble catching his breath and having some heart palpitations. So they rushed to the nurse, and the nurse is kind of teasing Emmy, which made her leave the room and get all flustered. So the nurse is in the middle of explaining that, and we'll go ahead and we'll proceed with this episode. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going on for a while now. It sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if a nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't gonna say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so that you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Oh, okay, so Emmy got into an accident and wasn't born without legs, so wow, that's terrible. That sucks. Hold on. What? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. I wave a hand to let him know it's not a big deal. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I'd been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were so many ways that could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts, it's still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Hisao. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know? What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start bleeding where they met her prosthetics. Ugh. It's a real concern. It's why she comes by every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs get cut up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. Honestly, I kind of like the nurse. He's like a really weird guy, but it seems like he's more jokey and friendly, and there's a lot more to him than at first meets the eye. Much like every other character in this game, all the characters are written so well. I really love it. The stethoscope is way too cold. I hate that. That's like one of my worst feelings ever, is like to get a cold stethoscope on your chest. Oh, it just gives me the shivers. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. Yeah, you jerk. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Hisao. You didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though, and my heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape. But if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? I'm out of shape, yeah. Damn it, Hisao, way to get out of shape. Don't push yourself too much. And of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out of the doorway to call on Emmy.
What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late.
The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hisao, that's all.
What? Come on, what have I told you about seducing my friends?
I'd expect Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. Come on, Hisao, don't be such a prude, man. That's some good humor. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy regard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again.
Told you he was funny, didn't I?
Huh, I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably be moving. Or probably get moving. You still need a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point, and it looks like I've only got half an hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours, and class hasn't even started yet. Yikes. This is going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. Have any of you guys fallen asleep in class before? I remember I used to, only senior year. I was actually a really good student up until senior year of high school, and then I would like put my book up and pass out. I only got away with it sometimes. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly deigned to give me weekends off from our morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I'd been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far, I haven't minded them that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out. As Emmy said, it's hard to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes, and I'd feel terrible about myself. Yeah, she really is quite the little manipulator. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Oh, it's the track meet today, you dummy.
Hey, you're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right?
Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right?
Exactly, so don't forget, okay?
Ah, shit, we gotta get to the track. Crap, Emmy's track meet. I better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. Get moving, Hisao, you don't want to disappoint the little lady. And so, I soon find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit it, it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be 2 schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You almost stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or they have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. That's terrible. Man, and that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college. But there it is. Oh man, that's sad. That's really dark. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance to the bleachers.
You came.
Of course, I said I would, didn't I?
That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through, though. Lots of people say things they don't mean, and don't mean them.
Crap, I'm like just making up sentences. It's got the same gist though, right? So it's okay, I gotta get a drink of water anyway. Super professional drink break. Sponsored by water. H2O. It's the oh yeah. And I don't know, I'm terrible at commercials. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands.
I owe Emmy money now.
Why's that?
I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen.
You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion.
I don't think so.
We enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards.
Up there. I came out to see if you'd come.
For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way, and soon we're settled down on an almost empty bench. Whoa, who's this? There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. I wonder if this is Emi's mom. Find out.
Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy.
Huh?
A snack? I wondered why I was down there.
The woman laughs again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before?
Well, I suppose you've always been one to to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Mako Ibarazaki, Emi's mother.
Okay, yeah, so she is Emi's mom.
Nice to meet you.
Or pleased to meet you. God damn it, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just making up words. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emi. Dude, checking out the mama. Stacy's mama's got it going on. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emi's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Mrs. Ibarazaki? I don't know how to say that name. I'm so bad with the Japanese pronunciations. So if I'm saying that wrong, please correct me down below. None of you have corrected me for a while about how I've said things, so I hope I'm okay. We'll see here. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emi's mother.
I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume.
Rin nods, seemingly pleased by this assessment.
She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it's really up to us to make introductions and the like.
For the lack of any better response, I nod. Mrs. Ibarazaki leans back a little in her seat and raises her eyebrow.
So, how long have you and Rin been dating?
Whoa! My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emi's mother bursts into laughter again.
Ha! You're a blusher, aren't you?
I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe.
So, this must be a new romance then, mustn't it?
Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh.
I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements.
You're really not that old lady. You are looking... okay. Old woman? Yeah. Hisao has the same response as I do, which is great. She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly, Emi gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go.
How kind of you. It's starting.
Oh. Here we go, track stars. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like a 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emi. Whoa, she's intense. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Bang! Emi explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emi surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the first turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emi leaves them at least half a second behind. Damn! Look at her go! Mrs. Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emi bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results.
I think she's gotten faster since the last time.
That was incredible! Mrs. Ibarazaki grins proudly.
Emi's a heck of a runner.
We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emi striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emi's mother nods.
Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emi can handle it.
From the looks of things, she's right. Emi doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. Damn, she's a hard ass. She's a badass. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this?
It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay.
I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emi flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emi's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over.
Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Your foot. Huh? Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. That's the best sentence ever. But here, you can, see? She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. Oh, now that I think about it, she was talking about her dad really weird. I wonder if her dad died in the accident, and she sort of pushes herself running because he used to watch her win, and that's what she wants to do the most in the world. I don't know. That's going to be really, really sad if that's what we find out is true. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Mrs. Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emmy's father. But after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time, not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. That's not surprising, considering. Huh? They were very close. I see. Whoa, a beeping noise suddenly emanates from Mrs. Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Huh? Oh, nothing. I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her later tonight? Of course. I wonder why she's not telling Rin this, since she's like known Rin and Emmy's better friends with Rin. Whatever. I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice that the relay is about to begin, but when I look, I can't find Emmy. Excuse me, guys. Oh my gosh, I have the burpees really, really bad right now. You guys are doing this to me. I know you are. You gotta stop. It's really, really rude. I thought that Emmy would be running the relay. She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet. Ah. Did you see it? Huh. Emmy at her Emmyest. Maybe. Maybe this time. The race begins and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting on the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. Oh no, it's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Rin inhales sharply and actually looks concerned for a second. Aw, Emmy. Did she hurt herself, do you think? You notice it too? It must be bad. Uh-oh. She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. And with that, guys, we'll find out exactly how Emmy hurt herself next episode. That was really interesting, meeting Emmy's mom at the track meet. Hopefully, we find out more about Emmy's past. I'm assuming that her dad probably passed away in the same car accident that lost Emmy her legs. But yeah, we'll
unravel more of the story as the game goes on together. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit the like button, share the video, and favorite it. Also, be sure to subscribe to me if you guys haven't already. For those of you who have, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are the best in the world. I love every single one of you, and as always, it was great seeing ya. Bye-bye. Ah, yes. Ooh, God. That barrel. Barrel almost screwed me up. Okay. Alright, cleaver face. Hiya! What the I kicked him! I had to have kicked him. I apparently landed with my hot dog junk right on his face, so at least I got the satisfaction of teabagging him before I died. Bodge!